Yeah. It's your boy Trash.
Hello. Um, it's so good to be back. It's been a minute. I was on vacation for a little while, and everyone needs a little break. Um, and so I was glad to come back. But the time away was awesome. But the thing about vacations, a lot of times you don't really think that that anything major is going to happen, I guess you can say. You just plan for a restful time of relaxation and rest. But on the day that we were, my family and I, we were going to the beach, um, we, when we were entering to go park the vehicle close to the water, we got stuck in the sand. And we kept going backward and forward, and we just could not move. So finally, some gentlemen came from out of nowhere. This is the decency of humanity. Came out of nowhere and just came and helped my dad to push the truck. And so we were able to get out of the sand. And then when we were preparing to put up the tent behind the truck, the wind was so high. And so my dad and I were trying to work on it. We were having such a hard time. And finally, the persons that were next to us came over and said, "Would you like some help?" Another thing about decency of humanity. But then the major thing that happened while we were there, we were enjoying our lunch, and a gentleman came out of the water, and he was coming towards us. And at first, it just seemed so very surreal. And he was just completely soaked, and he just was so tired and out of breath. And he was like, "Help me, help me." And we were just like, "Oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? What's going on?" He said, "I was with my nephew, and he's out there. I don't know where he is. He's drowning. Please, I need some help." And I think everybody had started gathering by then. And he was like, "I'm serious." And so automatically people went into motion, and the persons on this side were like, "Well, what was he wearing?" And over here, my dad got on the phone to call 911, and everyone was doing their part. Now, thank God that the gentleman was able to be found, the other young man. And around that time, I guess that the EMS came and everybody was working on the gentleman and his nephew. A minister and his wife came over, and he wanted to pray over the gentleman. And then the wife began to talk with us, and she was telling us about, she was like, "You know what, this is just God's providence," because we just thought we were coming to the beach just to enjoy some time in the sun, and God had us at this place at this time so that we can make sure that we were able to help those young men. And which it reminded me and made me think about God's providence, that an appointed time, an appointed position, appointed place, appointed purpose, and that's parallel to life. And that just made me think about God's providence. There is an appointed position. We were there at that specific time so that we can help. There's an appointed place. We didn't have to park in that specific spot on the beach, but we did, and a specific purpose so that we could be able to make sure that those gentlemen were okay. Just stop and just think about how that can parallel to your own life. A lot of times we may not see it. Our faith may even waver every now and then, but God has us in His plan. He has everything purposed out. He has everything in His control. We just have to trust and do our parts and do what we're supposed to do. And so I'm thankful for that little reminder, even during vacation time, of how God just continues to watch over us and protect us. As long as we're in the will of God, there is nothing that can harm us, and there is nothing that is out of our control.